if there's anything going on in your life right now that you don't like, or it's not working out for you, and there's some sort of issue that you would like to fix in your world, you have that capability, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video. You have the ability to manifest whatever you want to come into your life. And if there's issues in your life right now, all you have to do is start using your own imagination intentionally, and start seeing yourself doing the things that the simulation or whatever issue you're having is actually preventing you from doing. Whatever the simulation is preventing you from doing right now, like for example, driving the car that you want, being in the relationship that you want, walking properly or running or whatever, if you have a physical ailment or there's something that's preventing you from doing something that you want to do, start imagining yourself doing those things. Start seeing yourself doing those things in your imagination, and something will happen in your world. Something will change. There'll be a new medicine, or a doctor will come out and change something, or there'll be some new recipe for something, or something will happen in your world that will change your current circumstance into a solution, just by simply imagining it to be true, and you're imagining yourself to be doing those things right now, whatever it is. Like for example, my grandfather, when my mom was a young child, she was running down the stairs at their house, and she stepped on a mason jar when it was some kind of a glass jar. She stepped on it. She was like 3 or 4 years old, and she broke the glass, and a piece of glass went all the way up into her foot, into her Achilles heel. And my grandfather rushed her to the hospital, and they stitched her up, stopped the bleeding and everything, but the doctors told my grandfather that she would no longer walk anymore, or she would never be able to walk again properly. My grandfather did not, Elmer O. Locker Jr., my grandfather, did not take this as fact. He said, no, that's not happening. My daughter is going to walk again. He didn't tell the doctors that. He didn't tell anyone that. You don't need to tell anyone that. You appeal the decision within your own imagination. So he left the hospital right then. He went down to a church that was right down the street, according to my mother. My grandfather didn't tell me he went to a church, but he told me that he did this. My mother told me later that he went to a church, or that's what he told her. And he went to a church, sat in one of the pews, and started imagining that my mother was running, jumping, skipping, playing in the park. And he was imagining this for hours. He stayed at this church, imagining this over and over and over again. That he was imagining her doing all the things that would imply that she no longer had a foot injury. And I tell you this story because you can use that for anything you want. And what happened was, the end result of this story was that the doctor ended up, when he went back to see the doctor again with my grandmother, Joyce, the doctors told him that after a further procedure and after further analysis, that they think that she's going to make a full recovery. And my mom, to this day, I didn't even know she had a foot injury at all, ever. I never even knew she even had a foot injury, and the story was told to me when I was older. I didn't even know about the story till 15 years ago. And I tell you that because it proves that imagination creates reality, and the steps to take no matter what's happening in your life, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through. All you have to do is start imagining vividly in your own mind, in alpha state, a situation that implies that you no longer have that issue, that issue is no longer a problem for you. Just like that, if you have a foot injury, for that example, you start imagining yourself running, jumping, skipping, and someone else can do this for you too, but you can do this yourself. You don't need anyone's help. You start imagining yourself running, jumping, skipping, playing at the park, or whatever it is that's keeping you limited from doing what you want to do. Start doing those things in your imagination. Start doing all of that in your imagination throughout the day and as you go to sleep at night. And it can happen as soon as the same day. Depending on how intentional you are and how bad you want this and how long you're willing to imagine it. So if there's something that you want to change in your life right now, there's anything that you want to change in your life right now, how badly do you want it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. How badly do you want this thing? And if you want it that bad, you will imagine it for hours at a time. If you want it that bad, you can do that inner work. You don't need to do outer work. You do the inner work. The inner work changes your states of consciousness, then you act within your state of consciousness that you're in. You cannot act outside of your state of consciousness. You must first change the inner state of consciousness in order to see the outer world reflect that change, okay? Don't fight against the simulation. Use the power that created the simulation, which is within you, your imagination. Start using this power that you have within you right now in whatever issue that you're having in your life. Start doing what you want to be doing, or whatever someone's telling you that you can't do. Start doing these things in your imagination. How intentional, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And that's going to send you to the next level, to where you're actually doing the work. And that's why a lot of people don't do the work, is because they don't truly believe. You don't have to believe anything with your imagination. If you start imagining it, it doesn't matter whether you believe it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter whether you believe it. The only thing that you need to believe is that the law of assumption and these laws work in order for you to do the work. Because if you don't believe it's going to work, then you're not going to be intentional and start doing it. So what's the best prescription for this? Try it. Experience it yourself. Experience it to work yourself. That's all I can say. Once you experience it yourself, you start seeing the glitches in the simulation, then you 100% believe that your imagination creates reality, and you're going to use it for everything in your life once you experience it to work. So I want everyone to start imagining something that you desire to have, or something that reflects that the issue that you currently have in your life is no longer an issue. And you start doing this in your imagination. Start doing this today. And wait and see what happens. And come back and leave a comment and send this video to anyone that you want to help or to assist. Send this video to anyone you care about, anyone you love. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe you'll change their life today. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.